How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation episode review. Today's episode is episode 3 of season 2, entitled Abrupt Approach. And before I go any further, because I'm not doing it abruptly, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified of more reviews just like this one. Man, guys, I kind of delayed watching this because in my heart of hearts I kind of knew where this was heading, especially since I know kind of where the story's gonna go, because the light novel's been out for a while, then we have the web novel, we have the manga. Sara's gonna come up in the future, at least from me. I wish Sara, for those who know, for those who know and not just only know this, I wish she was part of the sacred trio. I wish she was a sacred quartet. I really wish it was. But what happens in this episode? I'm gonna give you the quickest synopsis. Sara here, don't she look cute? Sara here, after a long string of Rudy working together with the critical arrows, which is, he's been their sixth man ever since he rescued her. They're drinking and whatnot, and he's noticed that, Sara's gotten pretty close. We even actively see her scoot closer to him. And they're talking about where they come from. His father was a knight. Her father was a hunter. She used to practice using the bow since she was a kid, right? And it was made note, at least in the written series, that using a bow is kind of frowned upon because you got to be accurate, and even if you're accurate, it doesn't always kill. She's pretty damn good at it. She's basically a prodigy, much like Rudy is. And so as they're exchanging and talking, and then he was asked and then brought up how amazing Roxy was, which kind of made her get a little bit fidgety. She likes him. I'm not even going to be coy with that. She likes him. And as she says she needs a new knife. Big ass knife. This is like a dagger, man. I hope the translation was wrong, because this don't look like a knife. This looks like a big ass short sword. But she needs a new one. It's getting shipped, and asked if he wanted to come with her. Literally asking him out on a date, because we got Timothy and we have Suzanne both smiling. They go on the date, and the whole entire montage date was covered with the song of the intro song, at least of this season of this episode, because Mushoku Tensei, their intros vary based on the region. I even wrote it down because I had to talk about it. Very, very beautifully sung. The harmony was great of the male vocals and the female vocals. Very well done. So they go out, they do the thing. Blacksmith, they get matching knives. It's adorable. They back at the bar, drank a drink, and she thanks him for, saving her. And things are getting hot and heavy. And in Rudy's mind, he's like, ooh, I can make a move. No, I won't do it. He's thinking like, oh, I should, try to get over it, but I won't do that. I won't move things too fast. She's just like, I want to talk some more. Oh, we can go to another bar. How about we go to your room? Now, one of the things that apparently was cut from here was, as they're going up to his room, the bartender of the inn, tosses him another bottle of wine. Because she does admit that when she's with him, she seems to drink more and gets more drunk because she feels safe around him. They get to the room. She's like, basically says, do it. Let's do it. And he does the thing. Things are getting there. And then it dawns on him. He ain't rising to the occasion. He's at half mass. Things aren't getting pumping. He has ED. Rudy has ED, and he's felt it in his whole body. He's like, it's not that I was stalling mentally, it's my body. He's like, I knew something was going on in my body. Well, since he couldn't do the deed, Sara pretends, I'm flat out, she pretends like, oh, I was just doing this obligation. It's not like I really like you, blah, 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 blah. She's like, awful, and just leaves. I'll get to where we know where this stems from, right? This stems from Eris leaving him, because when we get into the different tavern, Rudy getting drunk, he's hammering him back, and then in comes Soul, And his buddy Kuzan, in comes Soul. He's like, oh, hey, don't ever see you at my favorite bar or my favorite tavern. You know, you gonna sit here and do your fake smile, or you're gonna be mopey and wait for someone to come and make you feel better. He punches Soul in the face, and he jumps on top of him. And I actually teared. This made me tear up. And I'm not gonna tell you why, but this made me tear up. And Rudy's just going, why shouldn't I fake a smile? I wish I could be a braggart and boastful like you and just, do it all the time. But I can't do it because then nobody would like me. I don't want people to hate me. Is there anything wrong with that? Right. Pardon me. I want to make sure I get this right because I made sure I put this down. Yeah, the kiss. Hyperventilate. He was hyperventilating on that bed, y'all. That was very, very sad. Butt ass naked. Nope. Almost there. So, there we go. He doesn't want anybody to leave him. And so that's why he keeps on smiling. He actually, he punches him at least 5 times. We do get some blood splatter a little bit. Although when you look at Soul, he just looks like someone's just punched him. And then he's crying. He's weeping, saying, why did you leave me? Stay and smile, even if you don't mean it. Being ditched hurts. And so he expects Soul to beat the shit out of him. He's like, man, just go ahead and just hit me back. I already know I can't beat you physically. I'm prepared. He's just ready. He's just crying on top of him. Whole bar just looking. And his buddy says, hey, go easy on the kid. And Soul's like, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tell me what's going on. And let's drink and talk. And so Rudy opens up like someone who he cared about left him. And now he can't stand that attention. Right. And, Soul's like, I'm not trying to make fun of you, but you got to speak plainly for people to understand. You got to speak plainly. Don't use fancy words. You were clear a second ago. Just tell me what's going on. And Soul thinks, well, maybe she left because something went wrong before then. And then Rudy's crying. He's like, hands in face, like, oh man, did you leave because I was bad in bed? Oh. And Soul's like, well, the best way to cure that is do a little bit more of it, right? So it takes him to the red light district. They go to this brothel, picks a girl, redhead, big boobs. And it turns out this woman's name is Elise. Y'all, this is good. This is some D&D shit here. This is some good world building. Tell me why. Remember in the very first, that wasn't the first episode 1. Remember when Rudy healed that little girl who hurt her knee? That is that girl's big sister. Everyone's heard about Rudy, even when he was drinking with Sara. People, the name Quagmire Rudeus, not just Quagmire, Rudeus the Quagmire is going around. And she's like, oh, I got you in here. It's nice to meet you. And Rudy thinks it's someone mentioned him. No, that was my sister. So I'm happy to help you out. I'm going to do what I can, right? They do whatever they were going to do. And they come back out. Paul was talking with another lady of the night there. Nothing worked. But Elise, my goodness, Elise in these fantasy settings, man, your lady of the night is your therapist and your confidant. She said, I believe that Rudeus is afraid of women. In other words, he is afraid of them leaving him, which makes tons of sense. Anytime he got super close to Eris. Wow. Got super close to Eris. And then he doesn't even know why she left. And that's actually Eris's fault. But I'm definitely getting to that. That's one of my main points here. And, in order for him to get through this, she believes that he needs to build a connection and do something with a woman who he doesn't think is going to run out and leave him. And Soul's like, you think anybody like that? And immediately in Rudy's mind is Roxy. He's like, that's not going to work. He doesn't even know where she is. They actually passed each other in the demon continent. He don't even know it. And He's like, no. And Soul's like, all right, then drink like there's no tomorrow. That's just what we're gonna do. We're gonna get you drunk, homie. So, oh man, Soul is the freaking MVP of this episode. They get drunk. They stay the whole night there. Gotta leave, guys. Gotta go now. They leave. And Soul gives some really good advice using the allegory of labyrinths. Because remember, his crew, they work labyrinths. And he says, when I get into a huge labyrinth, I don't rush into it, right? Because that's how people get hurt. Sometimes you encounter, at the deeper you go, you encounter tougher monsters, and sometimes those monsters team up with other monsters. And if you rush things, someone can get hurt, right? So just stay on the floor above and slowly get used to it, and then you move on. Makes sense, right? Rudy is hungover drunk. He's still hungover drunk. Like, yeah. And he's like, what I'm trying to tell you is Sara moved a little quickly. And so what you need to do is talk to her and tell her, you need to just slow things down. Man, he is not, his intelligence stat might be a 5, but his wisdom stat is damn near 20. And while she was primed and ready, you need to get yourself emotionally prepped. So again, and then Rudy's like, well, she said it was an obligation. Nah, bruh, she's lying. Anybody could tell by seeing you two together that she was into you. And that is such a thing in real life. You're so close to a situation, you can't tell signals that you're getting. Been there, done that. But I digress. So he's telling him to talk to him. He's like, all right, I'll do it this evening or I'll do it tomorrow. He's like, I don't think you listen to me. And we notice that Soul starts looking. I want to call Soul Paul so badly, because even though those two are dumb as rocks, they have really great wisdom. But you see him looking back, and Rudy starts going, well, even if it doesn't work out, who cares, right? I mean, I wouldn't want to be with someone like her. She's built like a kid. He's talking all this shit. And Soul's like, you need to shut up, bro. And Sara was right over there with Suzanne. She walks up, smacks the shit out of Rudy, drops the knife, says, I don't ever want to see you again. And Suzanne's like, that was too much. Rudy kneels down, looks at that knife. Y'all, he was about to he's going to do the old unalive self. And Soul's like, no, slaps that shit out of his hand so fast. He's like, you need to get a hold of yourself, man. And he's like, I don't want to. Rudy just breaks down. He's like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do nothing. I'm just tired of all of it. And so I was like, you know what? We just got word of a huge labyrinth that turned up over in the Duchy of Nearest. Why don't you come with me? Why are you offering this? I thought you hated me. Actually, I did hate you. Your creepy smile and your goody manners. But now I know what's at the heart of you, dude. I know why you are the way you are. And I don't hate you. Now that I understand you, I get it. We good. And so Rudy wipes them eyes, stands up. I'll go with you. And that's where it ends. We get the credits right there. There's an after credit scene. I love it. Where it's Annalise. Oh, remember Annalise? Elf ears, hair drills, bones everybody. For a reason. It's for a reason. And she's at this, I don't know if it's I guess like a guild station, but she hears two guys talking about, yeah, Rudeus of the Quagmire, because she knows Rudy's name. She's like, you tell me more about him? And the guy's like, I don't really remember much. And so she's, doing her rubby rub. And he's like, oh yeah, he's at this place. Cool. She grabs both of the dudes, because she's going to, yeah, if you're not looking at the screen and you just listening, you don't know what I'm doing, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. So he won't be alone for long. Oh man, that was probably the quickest run through I've ever did. And I had to do that because the main enemy is communication. 3 people who have had bad communication: Rudy, Sara, Eris. Let's go with Eris first. Eris has not told Rudy. She wrote down, and remember, she couldn't write before Rudy, why she was leaving, saying like, basically, she wants to be stronger to support him because he keeps supporting her. She wants to be able to do something for him. That's love right there. But she did not express it well enough. She probably should have just waited until he woke up and said, hey, I'm going to go on a sword journey because I want to be able to support you. You cannot go with me, but I will find you. How easy is that? Granted, we wouldn't have this drama if she did it that way, but how easier is that? Sara very much is like Eris, and she got to kind of the same point Eris did, but much faster ish, because Rudy stopped her from dying. She would have died apparently from whatever that treant thing was, would have killed her slowly. Him saving her pushed him closer. Even him saving the crew at least twice and doing great brought them closer, right? And Rudy's lack of communication is with Sara and Soul. See, Soul didn't know why he was the way he was. And he could have just flat out just said, look, man, I'm going through something. It's funny because even, Soul's getting hit by this kid. Like, maybe you do have it worse than everybody else. Because he was teasing him about that. Maybe you do. Maybe you actually do have it worse, right? He even admits, I gave him a wide berth because of the first impression, but the dude's actually a nice guy, and that is one of the greatest things about this show. Yeah, he's a braggart, he's a bit of an ass, but at his core, he's not a bad person. That's just how he communicates. He's very much a straightforward person. He saw it with Timothy. He was like, man, you smile too much, but you know what? I like you more than him because I know that this guy is hiding something, that he's not being real. And it's true. And Rudy's not being honest with Sara because you know what? Yeah, I get it. You're in the moment. You're drunk and you're trying to have a bro moment. Like, I don't care. No, you do care. You still cared. But you could have, very beginning, said, look, I don't even know how long ago this was now. Was this months? Maybe a year? Some time ago, someone who I spent tons of time with, ate with, drank with, had victories with. This person left me, right? And it's hurt, and it's put a hole in my heart, and he can't really say that he doesn't know he doesn't trust anybody, but that is the truth though, right? And it's just the main enemy of this entire series is communication. Crazy. And that's the funny thing, when Rudy's at his best, he knows how to navigate the lines of communication to make sure that his half sister and the maid make sure they didn't get kicked out. I still feel bad about it's Elisa. There we go. Make sure they didn't get kicked out. He navigated communications to put it on his dad, and his dad didn't get it, but dad was happy that it happened, but she got it, right? It's insane how great the kid. This is such fantasy world, right? The rumor that they heard was because of Rudeus of the Quagmire, a team of under 20 killed a dragon. The fantasy elements are not the important elements here. It is literally the relationship from character to character. Amazing. I already mentioned Soul Dad says real name Soul Dad. Soul, true bro. He is the MVP of all this. And I swear if something happens to Soul, I will be pissed. I will be very pissed. So you better keep Soul alive. Soul better stay alive. I'm not even gonna spoil it for myself and look up what happens to him in the books. But a thing that was cut from here was things from Sarah's point of view. Sara does go to the brothel. She talks to Elise, and Elise explains what was going on with Rudy, and more or less tears into her. Tells her it's basically her fault. And the crazy thing is they're both at fault, right? Because Rudy did say some messed up stuff, but she is more or less, it's a catalyst of her going, oh, that was awful, or, oh, I'm doing it out of obligation. You don't. Lines of communications, what you do and do not say matter and can hurt, like going through a labyrinth too quickly. Apparently, that scene of Rudy, almost himself. Apparently, that's gonna come up again from what I have researched. So, look forward to seeing that. But yeah, MVP sold that and Elise. I love the fact that he did doing a good thing out of the kindness of heart. And apparently, in the books, it's explained more so that you have to pay for healing. Welcome to American healthcare. You got to pay for healing, but he just like, I'm just gonna heal this girl for free. Who cares? She's hurt, and no good deed goes unpunished, and it's a wonderful reward to have people in your corner because you do good stuff. Yeah, his whole plan was to actually bolster his reputation, but that one good deed end up getting someone to go, yeah, I'm gonna help you out. Don't really care what you do to me or what we're gonna do. I'm gonna help you out here. Poor Rudy. I know what the cure is, but I ain't gonna. I know what the cure is, but I ain't gonna bring it up. I ain't gonna bring it up. But yes, I'm pretty sure that I gave last episode a 5 out of 5. Pretty sure I gave the episode before that. I'm pretty sure I gave Guardian Fits a 5 out of 5. This is 5 out of 5 by far. The etchy parts might get to you. You might go, oh, it's too much for me. It's a fantasy world. These kids are fantasy world. Who cares? What are they, like 16ish? No. Well, you shouldn't be only watching it just for that stuff. It's the human interactions that make this fantastic. The voice acting is done very well. You feel for these characters. Teared up twice during this episode. It's amazing. 5 out of 5. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm gonna hate it when this first part of this second season is done. I'm gonna hate it. Man, this show's so good. Easily in my top 10. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos like this. Thank you for taking some time out listening to me talk about Mushoku Tensei. Please, be good, be blessed, wash those hands, be good to yourselves, be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk. Be safe out there, y'all, all right? My social medias are right there at the bottom. If you're ever feeling depressed, like our main character Rudy is, reach out and talk to somebody. Literally, communication is key. Open up and talk to someone, whether it's a friend, a family member. A lot of times strangers work. Therapy is a thing, and I encourage everyone to use it. Rudy went to therapy just in a different kind of sense here, right? So talk to somebody. I promise you won't regret it. Someone rather see you today than miss you tomorrow. All right, guys, I'm Shane, and I'm definitely gonna see you next time.